Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Ignore my neighbor revving the chainsaw. The interior of this car is pretty shabby. It sucks bad. I have little to no weather stripping left, and what is left is essentially just dust. Even the rubber is just rock at this point. That's silicone. And even that's still feeling hard. And even around the doors, like all of this is, it gets worse as you go down. Like what is this? So yeah, it's not doing too good. And the windows aren't doing too good either. This window is fine. This window is broken. The little hinge or pin up there broke. That little window is sealed off, and that window falls through the door if you turn it down. That's okay, and this one's also okay. They work. And you can also see daylight through the crack in the door. So it's not really a sealed car. I also have this hole I forgot to mention. That's the exhaust manifold right there, and if you look really closely, you can see spark plug number 7. So I also want to make a panel for that. But I want to do a whole bunch of stuff, and I have a whole bunch of stuff. I have some caulk, some fabric. I don't really know what it is. I picked it up at Canadian Tire because it was on clearance. It was $12, so I want to put that in the windows to replace this, like whatever went in here, because this is just metal. Like it scratches the windows and it doesn't really let it move freely, and you can also hear wind through it. This is the weather stripping for around the doors, and this is some silicone for around the little windows because it's not doing too good. So I want to hopefully just make a seal around these because I'm not gonna find new ones. So if I can just make a seal around it, at least make it more waterproof, then that'll be fine by me. Because like that's just a hole straight through it. And I want a carpet just to make the car feel more complete and to cover up my wiring mess to protect it a little bit. And I think it would look nice. So I'm gonna start by going through the door panels because that's what I have the materials for right now. I want to start with this door because if I do any damage, I'd prefer it to be to the door that already is like broken. Because this window, I'll roll it down a little bit. See how it just slid down a little bit? Like it'll stop halfway. And if I try and force it down, if I crank it back up, it might just fall straight through the door. So I want to start by, I gotta pull the door panel off and get everything out so I can look at the window, not sure what you call it, window mechanism, I'll call it that. But I want to fix that and hopefully have a working window. So I'm going to start with that and I'm going to get that panel off and I'll be back. Okay, I've gotten most of the door apart. I got the little trim piece, well, little. It's pretty big. It was held on with one screw. The other ones just weren't doing anything. Got the little lock off. I gotta oil that up when I put the door together. And I'm pulling these pins out of the cover. It smells like death. There probably is some death. There's a ball of unbeknownst spider gunk somewhere, and I don't know where it went. The handle is actually in pretty good condition. It also smells like death. And I have to try and figure out how these handles come off. Because I don't quite know how. I don't know if I just pull them off or I'm gonna keep prying around the door. I'll figure it out eventually. And I'll be back when I do. It is the end of the next day, and I found a video saying how to get the handles off, or at least the window handle, because someone else conveniently owns a 56 Plymouth and was curious on how to get the handle off, so that's very convenient for me. Apparently, if this is at the 6 o'clock position, so right down there, there's a clip or a little spring holding this on at the 9 o'clock position. There's some really specific tool, I can't remember the name of it, but you need that, or you need something like that to be able to pop that off. Alternatively, you could use a flat pry bar or something like that, like a bent screwdriver. So I'm gonna see if I can do it with this. This was a fork at some point. I found this in the toolbox. I don't know what happened to it. But it is kind of flat and curved, so I might be able to get that in. So I'm gonna try that and see if I can get that bit off. It's the next day, and I finally got the one handle off. I figured out that I was trying to get the pin the wrong way. I thought you had to lift it up and then push it, but apparently all you had to do was just push it in. It just took a lot of force. Because here's how it works. All you have to do is come in from the side, which is like 9 o'clock if you have it pointing straight down, and you just push in this pin, which is not easy. It does take quite a bit of force to do, which is why I was having a hard time with it. So at least now that it's off, I can start working on that one, which has the exact same connector. So I'm sure that will only take me a few hours. I'll be back when that's done. It's been another hour, and I just got the handle off. It was just as hard. This is my tool for getting this stuff off. I took a screwdriver and I bent it and cut a little notch into the top so it can grab onto the little tab there. It works pretty well. This one was just taking a long time to get off. It would not come off. I don't know why, but that means I can now fully take the door panel off. And it also means I am locked in the car from this side now. So I have to climb up there. But now I get to take a little look in there. So I'm going to escape from my little imprisonment here and take the door panel off, and I'll be back. It's the next day, and I could cry. I managed to get the door panel off last night, and it hit me like a freight train that it's not the window mechanism that's stuck, it's the window. It was so obvious, it's almost painful to acknowledge it. What happens is it's this weather stripping on the side. I don't know if this got bent, but it holds the window in place. So I can just slide it up and down with my hand when the window mechanism's fully down. I didn't have to take the door off. I didn't have to spend several hours doing that. I'm not happy about it. So I'm gonna put the door back together and start with doing the little window seals. So I'll be back when that's all together. I got the door panel back on. I still have to put the handle on, but I got the armrest, but I got the two handles on. And I also lubricated the lock a little bit, just to make sure it goes a little bit smoother, because they're really hard to push down. And now I can go on to putting that armrest on and pulling out all of the old weather stripping for the window, which is very easy. It's pretty frail. Like it's not hard at all to pull apart. So that won't take long, and I'll be back when I'm done doing that. I've gotten most of the weather stripping out, and I have discovered that it is in fact the weather stripping Down in there, if I can find my flashlight. I don't know if you can see too well. This flashlight kind of sucks. Yeah, you probably can't see. Down, well, yeah, down there's weather stripping. It runs essentially to like down here from what I can tell. The second the window hits the weather stripping, it just instantly gets stuck. So I have to find out a way to remove the window because I don't want to try and take this liner out. I'm pretty sure it used to be removable, but I don't want to spend $1 million to get a new set because it's a little brittle now. So I have to find out a way to take out the window and get the rest of the weather stripping. So I'm going to be back whenever I find a way to do that. It's the next day, and I just got as much of the weather stripping out as I can. The window is significantly better. I'm going to zoom out for you. That sound is just from it rubbing up against here. If I press on it, it's fine. It'll be better with the actual weather stripping. So right there, that's already past the point where it used to get stuck. And I roll it down a little bit more, and it stops itself right there. So it used to stop around right here. So that's a significant difference, and that is, I'm pretty happy with that. I can't, if I can find my flashlight, I can't reach down in there anymore. It goes down pretty far. I don't have any tools that can reach down there, and I don't know how to take the window out. So it's actually pretty easy now. All you have to do is, while you're cranking it down, if you just rest your hand on top of it, it pushes it down enough. So I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm going to do the weather stripping next. So I'm just going to go along all of here and just seal that up, and right here too. And I'll do that tomorrow because I work in a little bit. So see you then. Okay. It's a few days later. I got my first strip of the weather stripping cut. It is 4 feet long because I don't remember the exact measurement for the window. I measured it. I just don't remember what it was. 45 inches maybe. But I'm going to give it some extra just to be safe. And this is the glue I'm using. It sucks, but it does kind of hold stuff in place, kind of. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that on the back of it. I'm going to put it into the windowsills. But first, I'm just going to put this all in and make sure it actually fits and works before I do that. So I'll be back whenever I get that in. It's the next day again, and I just got the top piece put in. I ended up cutting the one-piece strip I made because I'm gonna have to do it in different ways. So I just got the top piece pushed in. I'm not gonna glue it because it's perfectly fine with how it is there, which is fine. The top seal doesn't really matter as much. It does seal though. So that's all good. Because that's really all I want. I just want to make a seal around the window. And now I get to, I think I'm going to start on this side because it's the easier one to do. I tried putting this in the other day. My plan was I was just going to curl it like this. I was going to pinch it like that and put it in the seal wells. It doesn't work because for some reason the clearance of this window on the sides is like this much. So if you have anything in there, it just instantly gets stuck. So what I'm going to have to do is cut this in half and take a strip and glue it on each individual side. So that's not going to be fun, but looks like that's what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to start with this side though, because I think it'll be better. Or actually, I'm going to start with this side because I might be able to make this one a complete seal, like just slot it in curve style. I don't know. I'll start with this side and I'll be back when I'm done that. Alright, it's not that long later, and I did what I said I wanted to do. I just cut it into a strip, and I put it on one side. I was gonna try to do it on both, but it's so tight that it wouldn't really work. I tried, I just shimmied another piece in, but it locked up the window. So I have one strip there, and I put the other strip right here, which this side looks a lot nicer. And now, well, that's the first time I did that, but when I roll up the window, it's a lot quieter now, and it actually seals up tight for once. So there's no more leaking coming from that window. It's actually sealed off, which is very nice. So that should be, at least keep the wind out or reduce it. And this window goes down significantly further than it used to. So I'm going to consider this window done. I'm going to keep it rolled up so those seals dry where they're supposed to. And now I'm going to have to move over to this side. So I'm going to essentially do the same thing. Just pull out all of the weather stripping, not take the door panel apart this time. But I got to take this trim piece off. I'm going to lubricate the lock, pull out the weather stripping, and put in the new stuff. So I'll be back when I'm ready to put in the new stuff. It's the next day. Yesterday I pulled apart all of the door. I got the trim piece behind me here. I lubricated the lock, so that's very free. And this is the best door in the car, besides for this window here. But this window always works well. Like, no effort going up, no effort going down. And I also pulled out the weather stripping, which is still okay. And I think I know why these windows are good, because the front one is good too. They actually have this window tray here, which the other ones don't have. So that's cool. And I have the first piece of weather stripping here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I did the other day. I'm going to put the weather stripping up here and on the sides, and I'll be back when I'm done that. Okay, I got the window all sealed up. You can kind of see it through the glass. Not really sure about up there. And I'm still gonna clean the door panel. I cleaned the other one. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm gonna clean. Well, try to at least, just because there's dirt here. And I'm not gonna put the door piece back on because I'm gonna have to take this window out to fix it, because it snapped at the top there. So I did notice I can take it out. I should be able to at least. There's 3 screws. So hopefully I can. Because I really have to fix that. Like, because this is with the door, or this is with the window closed. If you press it in, it pops out. So I typically have it open like that just to get pressure off of this down here. So it's always open a little bit. But that's the next thing I have to do. I'm going to do all the little windows together. So I think next window I'm going to do is driver's side, because that's the, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, and then over here will be the last one. So I'm going to hop over and start pulling that one apart. It's 2 days later, and I just finished doing both of the front windows. I was on such a roll after doing this one that I decided to do the other one. Didn't really stop. And the only difference from the back windows is this is double layered. I have one strip on the outside and one on the inside. And other than that, nothing's changed. It's a lot smoother rolling down if I could actually reach the handle. And going up, it's a bit smoother. And this one I just finished. So it goes down smooth. This is what I mean by the double stripping. You can see there's some here and some on the inside and outside. Yeah, So I'm very happy all of that is done. And now I get to move on to probably going to be the most painful part. These seals around here. Because I need to seal them up, because if you look really closely, you can see straight through all of them. This one is still broken. Come on. Yeah. So I gotta fix that. I think I can take this out with 3 screws. That's why I left this trim ring off. So that's what I'm gonna have to do next. I think I might start with the bad one over there, because at least that way if I screw it up, well, I can't really screw it up. So I'm gonna start with that. I'm going to take out the 3 little screws, and hopefully that's how it pops out. So be back when that's done. It's the next day, and I just pulled out all 3 of the screws for the little window frame. You have to take the window out to do it. I don't really know how it's all put together, but luckily I could just bend it a little bit, and I found out on the top there's this screw. This screw is too short by like a 16th of an inch. It is some like really minuscule problem. It kind of looks like it was rounded off, or like it was hit on the end, because it's bulged out a little bit on the side. I don't know, but this is the reason that window pops out. So I could either take this little washer off, which I don't want to do, or weld a little bit onto the extra, or add a little bit onto the end. So actually, I think I might just be able to hammer that back out a little bit. See if I can get a little better. There we go. Nah. Yeah, you can kind of see how it's bent. Anyway, well, that's gone. So I'm gonna find that and hopefully just hammer it back out a little bit, and that should be just enough to fix the window. And if not, then I'm gonna take the washer off too, because I tried it with the washer and it did stick a little bit. So I don't know, I'll be back when that's done. All right, the window is all back together. I got the screw back in, and what I ended up doing was I ended up heating it up in, well, I heated the end up with a blowtorch, and I squeezed the end in an anvil, so it only had one way to go, which was out. And I mean, it works. It's better now. And it was a little loose, so I also took off the washer. That screw literally can't come out anyways from where it is. I don't really understand why there's a locking washer, but it's better without it. And if I ever do want to put it back in, I can always just well, I can just take the trim off. It's like 6 screws to get back into here, so that's no problem. Anyway, now that that is done, I have to put all of that back together still, because it's a little loose. But once that's done, I get to go around and seal up all of these windows, because it's already been sealed up before, but it's not the best. Yeah, I just want to seal all that up. Hopefully it works, and hopefully it's fairly easy. So I'll be back when I'm ready to start. It's the next day again, and I went through and cut out all of the old silicone from all of the windows. So this one now actually works. Had an issue the other day where it would only go like this far, and I got annoyed with it, so I just pushed it all the way out. Sound like a gunshot, but it's dead silent now, which is weird because it was still making the sound all of yesterday. But it actually works now. And that's so cool to see. Good airflow though. So that's all good. There was some parts where silicone was essentially holding everything together. Over here, this one's the worst one. So it's a little bad. Coming around the top too. But this one is actually the best window. Because it's always been smooth like this. It's perfect. But yeah, this rubber is so soft. So I'm just probably going to do a little bit more cleaning, make sure I put some oil down on the hinges. So I'm just going to clean up what's left, the oil, clean up silicone, and I'll be back when I am 100% ready to start sealing these back up. I was just about ready to start sealing everything, but I tried priming my sealant here, and I thought, that's a lot of force, it's bending the tube. And I thought, that's weird, so I opened it up, and I think that's how silicone's supposed to look in the tube. It's fun to play with, it's like gum. Anyway though, I was kind of thinking about, and I don't remember the last time I've seen one of these anywhere. Proform. I don't even know if that's still a brand, so chances are it's not. So I have another one, the exact same one. So I'm gonna try that one and see if it's any better. It's probably not, but might as well try. It's the next day. I opened up the other tube and it was the exact same thing. I don't know why that came as a shock to me, but I ended up going to town and getting a brand new one, and I already had a mishap while opening it. I hit the bottom piece like right after I opened it, so it kind of pushed in, and it shot out a little strip, went right on my pants, so I got a little bit of something there. And yeah, so I'm gonna start with this window because I don't know, it's already kind of broken, and I don't know, I'm just gonna go around and see where I have to do it. It shouldn't be that hard because it's just wherever it seals to. So right there, of course, but just around all of this, just where it seals, and some at the bottom, maybe a little bit right there. But I'll be back when I get that one done. Okay, I got the first little window sealed up. Now it looks pretty good at the top, but as you go down it starts getting a little worse, and I mean, it's sealed. I checked through on this side just looking through cracks, and I couldn't see any. I figured out a few strategies on what to do, so the other ones should be significantly easier, especially because I was gonna say they're almost complete, but that one's not even touching, so that's fine. I didn't do this seal because that actually is still rubber. I'm pretty sure on all of them that's still fine, so I don't know. But now I'm gonna hop on to this window, and I'm probably just going to blow through all of these fairly quick because it's getting later in the day and I don't want to run out of daylight. So I'll be back when I get most, if not all of them done. It's a couple days later and there was a snowstorm, even though it's the start of April, so that's cool. The silicone failed because it all froze, so I'm probably gonna have to get a different type and wait for better weather, because it was holding fine, but it temperature dropped down to this and it kind of gave out, so I'm probably gonna have to redo all of that. In the meantime, I've been working on the hole in my firewall down there, and I made this panel to try and fix that. Cut out some holes around the shifter and whatnot, and now it slides in there and it covers up most of the hole. It still leaves a little bit along the other side, but it does fill in the most of it. And this little hole in the side doesn't matter because I'm gonna be putting a carpet like all the way up, so that'll block the rest. I just want something for it to be able to sit on. And I think I'm just gonna zip tie this down. So I got a few zip ties in here, and now I get to do that. So be back when that's done, and I can already feel it blocking the wind, so hoping this will work a little bit better than my windows. It's been a couple of days. I ended up getting the little patch panel zip tied in, and I think it's pretty good how it is. It doesn't move. It's only there just so the carpet is something to lay on, just so it doesn't poke through the firewall. So that's done. I ended up redoing these seals. I did them not long ago, probably like half an hour ago. And I did it with a different type of silicone because the other stuff just did not hold at all. So this stuff should be better. It was a little more expensive. But I'm just going to wait a little while and see how that turns out. In the meantime, I was working on the weather stripping. This is the new stuff, and I decided against pulling the old stuff off of here because most of it holds. Because like, prop with my foot. Most of this stuff around here holds. It's just areas like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that and I'm going to go, well, I'm gonna go all around this seal with it. I'm gonna stick it to this just because I like having the door seal on the door. In spots like this, I'm just gonna take a little chunk and put it where it would seal on here, just to make a better seal. And I think areas like down here, it's gonna have to be on there, so I might just take a big strip. Because I think, yeah, from like here all the way down to about there, it'll probably be on the car. But from there to there, it'll just be on the door. So I already cut out the right length I need, hopefully. So I'm going to just go clean up the door, and I'll be back when I have that on. I ended up not doing half on the car and half on the door. I ended up just doing it all on the car, just a seal around. And I think it looks pretty good. Followed along as best as I could, and I mean, so far everything's sticking, everything's sealing. One small problem is, and it's not even really a problem, it's just like a, I don't know, a negative. The door closes slightly harder now. Which still isn't even that bad, because if I do this, like if I throw the door, very little force, it still closes. It's just that it won't close with like one finger now, which it still will. But I went through, and usually you could see the outside through right around here, and a little bit up here. You can't anymore. I made sure of that, because I put it right on the ridge there where it seals. So this door should be all sealed now. Even on the bottom, that should be a little bit better sealing. Let's see if I can get in close. It's a little better now. It actually does make a seal all around. And you can kind of hear air coming out when you close it if it's really quiet. So that door should be good. I'm still waiting on the silicone to dry on those windows, and in the meantime I'm going to do this to all the other doors. So I'll be back when I get them done. It's the next day, and I didn't get any of the other window seals done. I did let all the silicone dry, and only that window needs more, the one that's open. And in the meantime, I have recruited Aiden here to help take out the seats, because we have to take out the seats. I want to vacuum the entire floor, pull out all of the weather stripping on the sides of the door there, because it's ancient. Vacuum it all out, and then put the new carpet in. So while Aiden does that, I'm going to do the weather stripping on the rest of the doors and put silicone on that. So I'll be back when we're mostly done. We got both of the seats out. I'm now realizing how much easier it would have been to do the wiring with no seats. It's all done now, so I can cry, I guess. Back seat's all gone. Plenty of room in here. Literally like a living room in here. I can sit all the way back to, oh, I just felt some snap. Anyway, there's a lot of room in here. So we're gonna vacuum. I still have to do the weather stripping for the other doors. So I'm gonna let Aiden vacuum while I do that. And I'll be back when that's done. It's a few days later and all of the weather stripping is done. All of this random old stuff is pulled out. And we just finished vacuuming out the car. It's a lot cleaner, especially over by the wiring. And now we have the new carpet. It's good material. I think it's indoor, outdoor. I don't actually know. I don't know. It's a carpet nonetheless. So we are going to lay that in and I guess start cutting and just trying to fit it into the car. So I'll be back when it's out and in. It's a little bit later and we got the carpet in. Looks pretty good. We got to start cutting relief cuts though. I cut one already just so it would kind of fit in. But I got to cut out a spot for my gas pedal and around the steering column up there. So that's just going to be a lot of like pressing it down, seeing where it has to be cut, seeing things under the carpet because like there's clips for the seat in there. So that's going to have to be cut out. So yeah, it'll be a little bit of a process, but should be fairly simple. And I'll be back when, well, hopefully it's all in. It's the next day. Last night we got the carpet fully installed and the back seat in. We used the bricks as pins just to hold the carpet down so I could cut it properly. And it's a little weird in spots. I had to cut a relief cut here just so it folds in a little bit better. Oh, I had to cut some relief cuts in here just to stop it from doing this a lot. It was bulging out on the sides. It's really hard to see because everything's the same color. But just a lot of relief cuts over with the wires. There's significantly more, but it's all fine because only I'm going to be able to see this. And once we get the seat in, because we found out the seat's going to cover from like here to, should be like right here-ish. So all of that will be covered up. And I even got the pedals and the little switch over there. All good. Didn't fully cover the steering column hole, but that's fine. It's still stopping most of the airflow from coming in. And it's not bad if you have the doors closed, so that's fine. And it's fine up here. So now all we have left to do is find the bolt holes where the front seat went in, which isn't hard because they're just right there. And punch in some little holes so we can put the front seat in. And we'll be back when we get that all in. Right, so we got the seat back in. Same seat as before, don't question it. It's looking pretty good. Might need to be reupholstered at some point. It's a little peeling a little bit. Other than that though, I think it's looking pretty good. Alright, it's a little while later. Carpet's all in. It was last time I checked in. The seat is completely in. All of the mats are down, including my precious Hello Kitty floor mats. If I find another two, I will gladly buy them. And we even got a red blanket cover up the back seat because it's looking a little rough on the back. The bottom cushion's fine. It's just here because I can still feel, I can feel where it's ripping. Yeah, right there. Anyway, it's looking pretty good. The back is essentially perfect. And that should be all. That's really all I want to do for the interior. I got the door seals all done, so it should be less wind noise, should be waterproof. I got all of these little windows done, including these ones that never worked in the first place. And now they're the best ones, and they seal. And I even got this window working, and all the other ones with weather stripping. So they're a lot smoother, and well, they seal a bit tighter now. And yeah. So now, dropping it in there. I think the only thing I have left to do is I want to take this to a car wash. I asked my grandfather if he ever took it to a car wash, and he said no. This car was in a junkyard for many years, probably since the 60s. So if it ever was at a car wash, it would have been around the 60s. So I want to take it to the car wash and just wash off all of the just random stuff that's on it. Because there's moss growing on the back door over there. Let's see if I can see it. Almost just broke my ankle there. It's like green here. Full of flavor, but I don't want that on there. And I want to take it to the car wash just to make sure it actually is waterproof, because if I see where water's coming, I can patch it up. So that's the next thing I want to do. And I'm going to do that a different day because it's getting late and I think it's going to rain soon and my wipers still aren't the best. So whenever I'm ready to go to the car wash, I'll be back. It's the next day and got the Dodge in the car wash. Very excited. I'm very nervous because it's the first time this car has been washed, and I found a paper on the door for the oil change. This car last had an oil change when it was still on the road originally in 71 was the last date I could read. So this might have been to a car wash before. Who knows? But I'm still just excited to see it cleaned up a little bit, because even like the windows are hard to see through. So I'm gonna wash this and I'll be back. I just got done and it looks cleaner, but that's probably just because it's a bit wet. Inside did not fare horribly. It's leaking around the little window, but the door seals weren't actually an issue. It's just around the little windows on each one. I think it was either that one over here or this one that was the worst. I just looked at it quick. But regardless, so now I know that I have to check over those again. And other than that, it's looking very good. You can actually see through all the windows, which is nice. So I think that's gonna mark the end of this video. I've been doing this for about a month now, and I'm ready to be done with it. I'm just happy the Dodge has an interior now, because it looks so much better on the inside. The back looks especially good. And yeah, took a while, but it's all done and I'm happy with it. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.